whether domestic or foreign,
and that I will,
and that I will,
well and faithfully,
will and faithfully,
perform all the duties of
perform all the duties of
the office,
the office,
and that I will
and that I will
bear true faith,
bear true faith,
allegiance, and loyalty
allegiance, and loyalty
to the same,
to the same,
to any ordinance,
to any ordinance,
resolution, or law
resolution, or law
of any state notwithstanding,
of any state notwithstanding,
as I perform the duties
as I perform the duties
of the Churchill County Planning Commission,
of the Churchill County Planning Commission,
on which I'm about to enter,
on which I'm about to enter.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you, guys. Okay, Victor, if you want to come around, you can sign this first one, and then Tammy, you can the next one.
Bet you didn't know you signed up for that.
Yes. I know. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
You bet. Your folks already got the picture.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll just.
Yeah, it goes to Justin.
That's perfect here.
Congratulations to you guys. Also, my deepest condolences. We'll move to 7C, consideration and possible action, a revision to acreage map application filed by the State of Nevada Department of Wildlife for property located at 4058 and 4082 Reno Highway, APN 008-461-78 and 008-461-77, consisting of 1 acre and 1.06 acres, respectively, in the C1 zoning district, whereby the applicant wants to combine the two parcels into a single parcel. Dean?
Thank you. Good morning, County Commissioners and Chair. Dean Patterson, Public Works Planning and Building, for the record. You have before you a reversion to acreage map, which is essentially a lot merger to combine two parcels of land owned by Department of Wildlife. One existing lot contains buildings and a parking lot, while the other has been vacant until recently, with a parking lot being constructed. Should be noted that the parcel line to be removed has a utility easement, and the applicant is aware of this, as it'll limit future development, and it is not being abandoned. Note that the county has very little discretion to deny or require changes to our version to acreage. The staff report reviews criteria for approval and found no major issues of concern, and the Planning Commission recommended approval, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Dean. Is there any questions or comments from board or staff? Is there any public comment? I did have one question, Dean. Whose utility easement is it that goes through there?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Whose utility easement goes through that?
It's a general
general
public
one?
utility easement.
Gotcha, okay. Any public comment? Noting none, a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the reversion to the acreage map application for the Nevada Department of Wildlife to merge assessor's parcel number 008-46177 and 008-46178 into a single parcel, subject to conditions as listed in the staff report.
Second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Dean.
Thank you.
7D, consideration of possible action, application for support funding for the Fallon Youth Club in the amount of $8,500 with an annual update on activities. Shannon Goodrick.
Good morning. Shannon Goodrick, for the record, is that right? Hello, and thank you guys all so much for having us here again. You know, we love coming in and being able to talk about our program and all the things that we do. And this has definitely been a year of growth and change for the club. And as anybody knows, growth is not always painless. We have continued our partnerships with the school district and the coalition for the grants and the programs that we share, the tutoring and the academic enrichment activities at the big club. Our numbers have held pretty stable there. The big changes have been with the opening of the little clubhouse. in April, we opened our doors and quickly learned what people have talked about with the employment market. Was quite surprised by some of what we encountered as far as hiring people, and they would go to lunch and not come back. Well, when you have a required ratio of children to staff, that gets quite challenging. At this point in time, I think we've made it through the bulk of those, this process of elimination. They come in and they go. We had to reconfigure some of our spaces. We missed the mark a little bit on what the need was in the community. We had set aside enough square footage for 70 children between the ages of 3 and 5. And then we found that wasn't where the need was. We had a waiting list of 43 kids that were under the age of 2, and then we had the space set aside for these older kids, and there wasn't a big need there. So we had to go back to the state and have our license adjusted to adjust for the number of kids we were needing to serve in each age group. So currently, we've dropped that number down to 52 of that preschool and kindergarten age, and increased by 18 the number of toddlers, those under 2, 6 weeks to 2 years old, 2.5. With that has come the stubbing of the toes and the reconfiguring of spaces, and you think everything is set, and now you're buying more materials. So it's not been without its learning curve. Currently, we have 14 full-time staff at the Little Clubhouse, 2 part-time staff. We have 6 full-time staff and 6 part-time staff at the Big Clubhouse for a total of 28 employed in the community. And we serve on average about 175 kids a day between the 2 locations, as many as 200 if it's a day when everybody who's supposed to be there comes. So what I have to say is that our reach in the community and this need that we identified of early childhood quickly moved from identified need that we were going to serve the purpose of to a passion project for our board as a whole. And it has been a very rewarding experience, but again, not without challenges. But none of it would be possible without the continued support of the government and municipalities and our grantors and our community. So thank you very much. Any questions for me?
Thank you, Shannon. Any questions or comments from board or staff? Any public comment? Seeing none, can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the funding in the amount of $8,500 for the Felon Youth Club for fiscal year 2025.
Second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. We'll take a picture right over here. Okay, we'll move on to 7E, first reading, consideration and possible action of Bill 2024-D, Ordinance 32, an ordinance amending Title 16 of the Churchill County Code to provide the planning director administrative authority to issue temporary use permits and other matters related thereto. Joe?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If you would read the title and summary into the record, and then I'll explain what's going on.
Okay, Churchill County Ordinance Bill 2024-D, Ordinance 32, an ordinance amending Title 16 of the Churchill County Code to provide the planning director administrative authority to issue temporary use permits. Summary, an ordinance amending Title 16 of the Churchill County Code to provide administrative authority over TUPs by granting authority for the temporary use permit to be reviewed and issued by the planning director. 2, requiring additional documentation prior to the issuance of a TUP in certain circumstances. And 3, limiting the period of renewal for construction or permanent residence in non-residential facilities to 3 years.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Joe Sanford for the record. So presently, Churchill County Code restricts anyone who is looking to use a temporary use or temporary living quarters, which is essentially an RV, to no more than 90 days on the property. They can ask for and receive a temporary use permit through the Planning Commission in specific circumstances, farm labor, caretaker quarters, home construction, or office construction. Presently, these are issued through the Planning Commission. They are fact-intensive questions, and so presently, because the issuance is through the Planning Commission, we get applications that are forwarded to the commission that are really incomplete or deficient, and they get worked out in front of the commission at the hearing. That ends up leading to either compromised issuance of permits, conditions that are difficult to enforce, or rarely, but sometimes denials in front of a public meeting. Moving this to an administrative action would reduce those burdens. There are some other changes, specifically more requirements and clearer requirements about when a permit would be issued, specifically for home construction, as well as the limitation that home construction permits wouldn't be renewable beyond 3 years.
Thank you, Joe. Is there any questions or comments from board or staff? Is there any public comment? Noting none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to set Bill 2024-D, Ordinance 32, for a public hearing on September 18th, 2024.
Second it.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Moving on to 7S, consideration and possible action, joint proclamation with the City of Fallon and Churchill County School District declaring September 2024 as Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month. Shannon?
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the board. For the record, Shannon Ernst, Churchill County Social Services. As you know, Churchill County has had an increase of youth and adult suicides. This is fact. This has been brought forward to you and a huge concern. We started working on our suicide prevention and behavioral health intercept model in March of this year. We're still working on that plan. We've had many community members at the table, many professionals from different agencies, providing input on really what our community needs to do. One of the things is the goal is to reduce the stigma on mental illness in our community and encourage anyone that is struggling not to be ashamed, but to seek help. That is a huge awareness portion of this that we're working on. We've been meeting with the school district to really talk about what is transpiring and how we look at training, so that not only our professionals in the community know how to identify risk of suicide, but also to look at how do we train the community to identify someone that is at risk and help assist them to obtain help. As we were reviewing our plan, it's not done yet, we found that really we need to jump on this more sooner than later. And so that's why this proclamation is coming before you today. September is Mental Health Awareness and Suicide Awareness Month. And we have decided that we would like to do this joint proclamation, not only with the City of Fallon and Churchill County, but also the Churchill County School District is joining us. So today we're asking you to sign that. On September 9th, we are going to have a ceremonial dyeing of the fountain on Main Street. We're going to ask individuals to come and speak on behalf of each of these organizations. And also, we're really urging individuals to wear purple on Fridays in recognition of this month. We will be putting together a media campaign that will start effective Monday, talking about what are some of the signs of suicide, how do you obtain help, where can you get this help, and how we can take actions in our community. So today I'm asking for approval of this proclamation so we can move forward next week.
Thank you, Shannon. Is there any questions or comments from board or staff? Any public comment? Noting none, a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to adopt proclamation declaring September 2024 as Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month, and to support education as presented.
Second it.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you.
Did either you, Justin, or Buzz want to pull either one of the letters received?
No.
I don't.
Okay, we'll move to the consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve that as submitted?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Second it.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Did anyone have anything they want to consider for a future agenda item? Okay, we'll move to Commissioner and Management Staff reports. Justin?
Nothing to pass.
I had a meeting or breakfast with the mayor with Jim yesterday. It was a pretty productive meeting, so that was good. Buzz?
Oh, okay. I met with Harvey Whittemore and Sherry Hughes, who represents Steve Mack. And I talked to Jim about it, and I think he talked to you about it.
He did, yes.
So what they're asking for is a workshop to iron out all the differences regarding their land so that they can get moving.
Okay, Sherry?
I have nothing, thank you.
Joe?
Nothing, thank you.
Jim?
Just a reminder to invite folks to join us at 3 o'clock this afternoon at the Frassini Building. We'll be doing our grand opening and rededication of that building as a county facility. That'll be where our Public Works Department and our Social Services Department is going to be opened, and we'll have a couple of speeches and then an opportunity for folks to walk through the building and check it out and see the good work that our facilities folks did in bringing that building up to function for our folks. And there's refreshments, so that makes it worthwhile, just that. Thanks.
Crystal? Nothing? Pam?
Nothing for me.
Under Sheriff?
Just known the sheriff and one of our captains up in Elko right now at a pool pack conference, working some things that are important to the sheriff's office. And we're in the finishing process right now of trying to get 2 people hired for detention and a dispatch.
Thank you. Randy? Chris?
Nothing.
Make this easy, okay. At this time, is there any public comment? Noting none, we have the quarterly jail inspection, and we are adjourned.